Hey everyone, it's Jake's Metal Chat. Hope you're all well, and it's Wednesday, so that means another episode of my favorite death metal albums. This is episode 9, another 6 here. Anyone brand new to death metal, as always, you're not familiar with these albums, go check them out. But for all you veterans out there, I don't have to tell you twice, you're gonna know these albums anyway. But there might be one or two here like, didn't know that one. Without further ado, let's get on with it. Here's the first one, a band all the way from Finland, and looking them up, I cannot pronounce one of them. I'm going to try and pronounce the first place where they're based, called Tampere, Tampere. Probably said that one, so I do apologize. Been going since 2011, so they've been going for 13 years. And still going strong. They got 3 albums out so far. One came out in 2015. The last one was 2021. But the one I'm going to show you is from 2018. So this is Ghastly and Death Velour. And the Finnish know how to make solid, evil sounding death metal. And this, man, it's just sick. And there's the fine young gentleman on the back there, just chilling out. Of course, $20 Spin, one of my other favorite labels to release some solid bands, solid releases. Black and white CD, love that. Booklet, of course, another band picture. So we have Johnny, Ian, and Sam. And let's get the book out so you can see the artwork a bit more. I have to do it like that because if I do that, obviously the light's going to blur it. The artwork, absolutely excellent stuff. Let's get some lyrics here. Band picture there. Artwork there of a severed hand and one of a foot. Here we go. So Ian is on the guitars, bass, drums, and additional vocals. Sam on vocals and Johnny on guitar and vocals. And some guest appearances from Mark and Robert. Rika was the one who did the cover artwork. Not going to try and pronounce the last name. And of course, the drawing was done by, as you can see there, I'm not going to try and pronounce every single name on there, of course. Layout by Ian and Melcy. Probably just said that wrong, and I do apologize. You know what, like I am with pronunciations. But yeah, artwork excellent, and and she also, Rika, did the artwork for their last album, which let me get up a minute, called called Merciful Passages. I think I might have just butchered the first name wrong, but gave my best shot. But yeah, this album is done really well from start to finish. Just excellent, excellent stuff. Found out about these guys probably late 2019 or maybe early 2020. And I'm trying to remember which song it was. It might have been track number, probably track number 4 or 3 or 4. No, track number 5, Velvet Blue. That would have been the song that I heard first. Pretty sure. Do need to get their debut and the last album. I know the last one's at Black City. Trying to think of their debut was, but I don't think he's got that in yet. Of course, I got this from the website as well as some other releases, and I'm trying to remember which ones that I got from there. Have a look back on my Instagram and see. For anyone who Obviously, he's been into death metal for a very long time. I've been into death metal since the mid 2000s, and I've always just been trying to find new bands, and I found these guys. Anyone brand new, like I said before in previous videos, I'm gonna keep saying it. You're not familiar with this band here, check them out if you love death metal. Of course, when you think of Finland, when you think of death metal, you think of Pertinence. Just looking at the set list I got from Filmfest in 2020. Demilic, Demigod, uh, Funebre, who else is there? Convulse. Trying to remember, I know there's so many awesome Finnish bands. Solifers, Sepulchral, Curse, Skepticism. And not death metal, but still awesome band, awesome Funeral Doom there. There, Crips. Just trying to look at my jacket over there. I think I've pretty much Ripakulu. Excellent band there. You want some more Finnish death metal, and you're familiar with those bands already, then you're gonna like these guys. Once again, this is Ghastly and Death Velour. Love that artwork, love the logo, love the band. Everyone's gonna know this band. All you veterans, you're gonna know him. But for anyone not familiar, I mean, this album's more on the death grind side. I know they went more melodic death metal down the line, but still kept that intensity all the way from Liverpool. Formed in 1986. They don't really need an introduction, but they're going to get one anyway. This is Carcass and the 1991 album Necroticism, Descanting the Insalubrious. Now, everyone's going to know Carcass, but for anyone who's like, not too familiar with this band, well, like I said, they've been going since 1986. They did split up in 96, so had a 10-year career, then reformed back in 2007, and didn't release another album until 2013, being Surgical Steel, which I absolutely like, love even, because they were playing that, because they released that album when they were on tour with them on and off. Never got to meet any of the guys before or after that show, but I got to meet them on and off. But yeah, there's there's the song there, a little bit of things to do with, all the stuff to do with anything to do with pathology, medical stuff. So any doctors, nurses out there, well, there you go. Got the CD, which is nice pink with some tools, black, and of course, brand picture there. Some lyrics there with some artwork in there, so pretty damn cool. You're gonna know a lot of people here. Michael Amott from Arch Enemy. He's in various different bands. Of course, he was in Carnage. Of course, Ken Owen, just a beast on the drums. Bill Steer, of course, used to be in Napalm Death, but was still doing Carcass around that time. But then did Carcass full time once he left Napalm Death. And of course, hang on there, Jeff Walker, the front man on the bass. And I got to see these guys a bunch of times. Obviously, seen them here in Bristol. Saw them at Download in 2015. I'm pretty sure they played Download another year after that. Can't think. No, I can't think. But yeah, this album's been out since 1991, which was the year I was born. Show my age. So yeah, this has been around for nearly 33 years. By the way, cheers. Anyone not too familiar? I know, like I said earlier, it's not death metal as such, it's death grind, but it's got death in there, so it's on the list. Been meaning to show some Carcass, and I'm like, well, which one do I show? Recapitulation, this one or Heartwork, but I thought I'll go with this one first. Heartwork's insane as well. But yeah, an album that hopefully everyone has. Again, when I say all you veterans, you death metal maniacs, maniacs of the underground, you're gonna have this album. Anyone new, once this video is over, or you can pause it to go listen to this album, come back, get it. I highly recommend it. Same with Ghastly. So once again, this is Carcass and Necroticism, Descanting the Insalubrious. That's a tongue twister in itself. Right, a band from Sweden. I cannot remember. Well, it's not that I don't remember the name of the place they're from. It's just I can't pronounce it. But the bit after that says Kronenberg. Probably just butchered that then. Do apologize. But a mate of mine who's from Sweden told me that was like a little town or province. I can't really remember. Look at his comment again on my Swedish one. But anyway, I showed these guys in that list. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check. Formed in 1991. One of the members went on to form Arch Enemy. Yep, just had to be sure. Of course, they did split up in 95, got back together in 95, 96 under a different name. But the name that everyone's going to know if you are an avid listener of the underground death metal scene, this is Furbowl. Furbowl. And Those Shredded Dreams from 1992. This is not the original cover. This is a different cover. I got this from a mate of mine. So Furbowl, there we go. Just got silent. So yeah, it's a re-release because it's got, of course, the album there with a video from Uppsala. And of course, demo tracks from 91 and 93, 91, 92, 93. I don't think the original artwork's in here, but there's the CDs there. One of them there, that just fell out. And there. This is from my mate who is in the band that is, yeah, at the start of all my videos, his band, Nash. Do check him out. So I was picking up the book. Got some, right, let's show the artwork first. That's not the original artwork. You can easily, you can find the artwork just by Googling it. Or going on Metallum. But yeah, here we go. Of course, I think this album was done as a two-piece by Johan, who, not Johan, a different Johan, the one who formed Arch Enemy. Because I know if you find this album on YouTube, like there's one song and you see, you know, the CD and oh yeah, there's the original artwork right there. But yeah, see pictures and usually those two that you would see for this album. And when I went to the gym quite a lot, and I need to actually get back to it, I would sometimes put on, which song would I put on? Those Shredded Dreams, because it was the longest one on there, I believe. I'm going to no, the longest one is the first track, The Damage Done, which is a favorite track of mine, and of course Those Shredded Dreams. Yeah, and you got other songs like Nothing Forever, Razor Blades, Desceration, I think I just said that wrong, and Shark Heaven or Haven. But album that I don't think anyone knows. Like I said, I mentioned albums that didn't really get the recognition they deserve, and I don't think this got as much recognition because obviously there was the bigger death metal bands releasing albums, and a lot of albums like this would have just been totally overlooked, but definitely do check this out. A band that does deserve a listen, and they're really, really solid Swedish death metal. From what I've heard of it when I've heard it, it's not a lot of HM2 because not every Swedish band did HM2. They're one of many out of that list of Swedish bands that didn't do HM2. As far as I can remember, I haven't heard this in a while, but when I heard it, I was like, yeah, instantly a favorite. So once again, this is Furbowl and those shredded dreams. Do check it out. Right, got three more to show you, and this one is all the way from Ankara/Istanbul in Turkey, formed in 2008. They did split up for a while. They were banned from 2008 to 2012, and then 2 years later got back together. They only got one album out. They got one EP, a split with another band, and I'll talk about that split in a minute, but I'm going to talk about the album. This is a Burial Invocation, and hopefully I can say this album right without messing it up. This is the only album from 2018, a Biogenesis. And this is artwork, and if all you fans of death metal, you're going to know whose artwork this is. Dan Seagrave knows how to make solid artwork. His artwork's just amazing. I'm trying to remember where I bought this now. I think I bought this at either Netherlands Death Fest 2 or Neurotic Death Fest. I can't remember where I bought it now. It was at one of those two events, or I might have bought it at Flesh Party in Slovakia, maybe. I'm not entirely sure now. Might have been there. Bought a lot there. A lot of it being like gore grind, which I don't really listen to that much anymore. CD. Stuff here in the book. Let's actually get the book out so you can see the artwork. Because I love Dan Seagrave's artwork. Look at that. And I don't think there's a picture of the band. You can easily find out by Googling it. Artwork there, lyrics there. And what I got from this, depending on how many of you actually heard this album, I got a gore guts vibe. Definitely some gore guts in here. Looking at similar artists, but definitely, I got some gore guts, incantation, bits and pieces, mix, like a mix of gore guts, bolt thrower, incantation. But mainly gore guts, and mainly the first two albums, Considered Dead and The Erosion of Sanity. For incantation wise, again, probably the first two albums, like Onwards to Golgotha, and let me just look up the other album before I forget. Mortal Throne of Nazarene. Probably, or maybe the first three incantations albums, but definitely in terms of that dark tone, definitely Onwards to Golgotha and Considered Dead and The Erosion of Sanity by Gorguts, like especially those technical parts, because it's quite technical, not overly technical. But yeah, I bought this ages, and because I've heard one song. I'm trying to remember which song it was I heard the first time around. It might have been the title track, or it might have been the first track. But obviously, I was like, I'm going to listen to this. But then more albums kept coming out by other bands, and I kept checking out new bands, and I just keep forgetting to check them out. Fully checked this out a while back, and yeah, definitely one of my favorites. Like I said, they did a split. They did a EP in 2010 called Rituals of the Grotesque, which I haven't heard, but I'm looking forward to actually listen to that. And they did a split called Decomposing Serenades with an excellent Japanese band, excellent death metal. I think more on the Death Doom side, Anatomia. Yeah, Death Doom, Anatomia, just disgusting. This and this. I mentioned I mentioned dark and evil before with bands, but definitely this is dark and it's evil sounding, like I said, with the incantation and gore guts influences in there. Some immolation in there as well. Especially if I was going to say three bands, it would be Gorguts, Immolation, Incantation, definitely. If you've heard it before, you might have gotten a different Bible. You might think, yeah, exactly. But everyone is entitled to their own opinion to what sort of influences they got from a certain album and a certain band. But definitely one that needs to be talked about more. I don't think anyone's talked about this on YouTube. I haven't looked. I'm actually gonna look straight after this, after I've done this video and got it all ready. But definitely, and I mean definitely, check this out. Some solid death metal from 2018. Burial Invocation and Abiogenesis. Now, bands that I have mentioned on here before, the last two. This one all the way from Fort Worth, Texas, that formed the year the last album just came, last time I just showed you, 2018. And I've mentioned this band already. I've had them on the chat. Same. Actually, looking at the band note, only one on this band that I've had members from. Yeah, and I've had two of them from this band. And I finally got to see him live last year with Dying Fetus. And I saw him at Bloodstock. I'm going to be seeing him again next month, headlining the Fleece here in Bristol. You're going to know if you know me personally and know how much we've talked about this band. This is Frozen Soul, and I'm going back to their first album, their debut from 2011, Crypt of Ice. Frozen Soul, Crypt of Ice. What an album. Absolute savagery. Again, I use that word, but it's valid here. Of course, we've got a band picture of all the guys there. And of course, it's the digipack. So look at that CD. I can't wait to see these guys live again. Of course, I got to know the members of this band are all really cool. So you ever get a chance to chat with them, do so. Love when a book does this with the artwork, so it folds out all the way there. Excellent stuff. Lyrics and another band picture there. Of course, it was. Let me just get there. We go. Chad and Michael that I had. I've met Sam. I'm gonna just get their names up here. So I've met Sam and Matt and Chris. All really cool. And of course, there is a group on Facebook called Frozen Soul Cold Crew. Fan of Frozen Soul, do join that group. More lyrics and a thanks list right there. Every album EP does have that. But yeah, there's the artwork again. Just fold it back out again so you can see the whole thing again. Yeah. Now, you would have heard this album if you heard it. This came out in January of 2021 on the 8th, which was 2 days ago. So this has been out for 3 years, 3 damn years now. And I mean, Shit, man, that's amazing. Just solid, solid, solid death metal. Now, the new album is kind of gone away from what this album pretty much, and everyone knows what sound they get from this album. Still a bit of it on the last one, Glacial Domination, which I showed in my first episode of this last year. A very Bolt Thrower vibe, and you can tell that they're all Bolt Thrower fans. I'm just getting out drinking. Definitely a Bolt Thrower vibe. Of course, the first track I heard was the title track. I love this whole album, but if I'm gonna pick favorites of mine, obviously Crypt of Ice, Arctic Stranglehold, Hand of Vengeance, uh, Wraith of Death. Well, if I was gonna pick my top three, tracks 1, 2, and 4, but also Encased in Ice. But start to finish, just pure intensity. Got those sample ambient parts in there as well. Just this band does no wrong to me, and I cannot wait to see them in February on the 13th with support from another Texas band, Creeping Death, and there's two others on that bill, which I am trying to remember top of my head because there's another death metal band that I really like, and I'm trying to remember that name. It's not coming to me, but Creeping Death's on there, who I got to see last year with Revocation. No one familiar with Frozen Soul yet? Excuse me. Then either check out their debut, or if you're like, oh, I've already checked out the new one, well, check out the band, check out the album. That started it all with these guys. Once again, Frozen Soul and Crypt of Ice came one of my favorite death metal bands 3 years ago. Dude. And this band here, been a fan of for a long time, formed in 1989. I've already shown them in one of my other episodes of my favorite death metal albums. I try them out, I think it was like episode 3, I believe, which I will double check before I continue on. Go down, because this band here, everyone should know, again, to all of you hardcore death metal fans out. Yeah, episode 3, I was right. I don't know why I was down myself then. Um, you'll know this band as soon as you see the logo. I'm not showing one of their earlier albums because, well, I got two of their earlier albums, but they're in that double CD pack thing, which when I can actually find the albums on their own, I'll buy them. Still yet to get a copy of their debut. This is Benediction, and this was their last release. This came out in 2020, and it had the return of David Ingram back on vocals. Once again, Benediction. This is a 2020 release, Scriptures, and my God, this album is mental. In pure Benediction style, just relentless. Of course, released by a famous label there, Nuclear Blast. Stormcrow, if I'm going to mention a favorite song, definitely that one. The whole album's amazing. Of course, a bit of the artwork on the CD. There's a fan picture in here somewhere. Oh, there's the man himself, David Ingram. Really sound bloke. Big Doctor Who fan, of course. Of course, if you're British, you're going to love Doctor Who. I know a lot of you guys over in the US love Doctor Who as well. Of course, we've got Darren. Of course, he's been in the band since day one. Lyrics there. And there's the other guy. Dan, the bass player, he's been He's been in the band since. Hang on, where is he? Okay, he's not in the band anymore. They got a new bass player since, but he was in the band from where is it? 2018 to 2023. So they got a new bass player now. Bass player they have now is where is he? Nick. Just want to get that out there. But yeah, of course, a lot of people are like, he's got really, really cool long hair. Why doesn't mine grow like that? Mine hasn't really grown that much since. That one who's been in the band since day one, Peter. Peter and Darren, David, all the guys in the band are cool, really cool individuals. Just proper, proper cool guys. Giovanni on the drums. He is excellent, excellent drummer. Um, but yeah, talking with David, really sound blow because I met him first time properly in person at Scandinavia Death Fest. That's when he returned to the band, and what a return it was! What an absolute return! Um, got to meet Darren now. I met my Bloodstock. I completely forgot who it was, but obviously they meet new people all the time, so they're not going to remember everybody. Then met them properly again when they played the O2, not last year, the year before, with Volbeat. I was mainly there for Benediction. Got to hang out with him at the Hatchet in Bristol and watching Darren just getting absolutely angry over the football. Brilliant stuff. Oh, it's just a bit of artwork there. Of course, saw him again at UK Death Fest. Hang out with him for a bit there. And of course, I've showed two of the CDs that David has given me. Just like, oh, I've been meaning to find you, and he just gave me a CD of Echelon. But no one familiar with Benediction out there? I know all those veterans now. I'm like, I know who Benediction is. Yeah, and I know you know who the Benediction is. Is anyone who's brand new that doesn't know who Benediction is? Excellent old school death metal from Birmingham. Of course, David now lives over in Denmark. Still yet to go back there. I haven't been there since I was a kid. But yeah, awesome, 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 excellent old school British death metal. You won't be disappointed with this album. If you already heard it, you know how great it is. If you haven't, pick it up. Highly recommend it. Just brilliant stuff. Benediction and Scriptures. Just all excellent albums here. Of course, I have a lot more to show you. I got a lot of thrash and black metal as well, so I may do separate lists for them in the future for this channel. But there's a lot more death metal and much more of my Metal Vault episodes to come as well. But thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of my favorite death metal albums. I have so many favorites. I'm just like looking for them. It's like, yep, that one, that one, that one. Just too many to ask. And of course, my tattoo is healing nicely. Some of it has flaked off already, but you know, if you've got tattoos, you know. So until next time, until I have another episode of my favorite death metal albums, and of course, favorite metal underground releases, need to get back on that. Thank you very much for tuning in. I've been Jacob Jake's Metal Chat. Keep that banner of metal held high, and I will see you all in the next one.